Hello, flatties and defenders of the spinning globe. Yes, it's Critical Think from down under here, and I've heard requests from flatties that they want to see a picture of persons and buildings upside down. Well, I've done one better than that. I've got a video. So there's your proof. Now will you believe in globe? No, I don't think so. Anyway, today I'm going to show you, I've got a wonderful video of a ship going over the curve. I was lucky enough to be there on a day when there was a ship out there travelling away from me, and like it disappeared bottom up. So let's see what the flatties are going to do about this. What kind of mental gymnastics are they going to perform to explain this one away? We'll have to wait and see. Okay. So I happened to be out at Caloundra on the weekend. I brought my camera with me and I found a ship. Now there is a shipping channel between Caloundra and Moreton Island, so there are quite good likelihood of seeing a ship. Now I've got the location, which is on a little bit of headland near Bulcock Beach in Caloundra, and at this particular shot I'm up above the waterline near the car park, very close to the car park, and 2:09 p.m. in the afternoon. So I've taken quite a few shots of various things, and there's a closer view of the ship, and there is some mirroring, and I'm not too bothered about that. It's a big ship, and you can see the size. There's a looks like a lifeboat there, blue coloured hull and a yellow on top of the funnel, and that's a shipping marker, and it's crossing in front of it or behind it, and the ship is getting just a little bit further away, although I didn't notice by how much at this point in time. I was just busy taking photos. And then before that I've taken a video which shows sort of like the location. So there's a ship way out there in the middle, and you see there's the marker we saw before, so it's going a little bit that way, and you can still see the hull here. So I've decided to go down to those rocks there and start taking some more photos. So from down on the rocks, now you can no longer see the hull because I'm lower than what I was before, and my line of sight is different, and due to the curvature of the earth, there's a lot less of the ship visible and a lot more hidden under the curve, which is totally what is expected when you have that kind of the curvature of the earth. And there is mirroring there, so there's the mirror line there, so most likely the true horizon is around about there. And there it's a couple of minutes later, and it's disappearing very, very quickly. And I thought, oh well, okay, here we are down on the rocks. This is my position, and there's my ship disappearing more and more, and this is down close to the water. Now, as you can see, clearly that's impossible to zoom in and bring the hull back into view. A lot of people claim this is the case, but if in all of those cases, the boats or ships are not over the horizon, they're just a long way away, you can't see them. And this one, over the curve, there's no way in the world you're going to zoom that in and reveal the hull. Hey, if you think that, I think you're a little bit crazy, really. Look at that. So I realise at this point that the ship is disappearing fast. So I went back up the top and started to take a video of the ship actually disappearing. So I've gone back up the top. You can tell the difference in the view. Up the top, there's a little bit more of the ship visible, as you would expect, because of the curvature of the Earth. And I'm going to start playing this. Very hard for me to keep the camera still, even on the tripod. I think I'm going to have to invest in some new equipment. But I'm going to let this run for a while, and hopefully, there we go, you can see where I'm filming this from. So I'm just going to let this run so that you can see that the ship is going down, 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 ever so slowly, but it is happening. Now, I've heard all kinds of excuses from the flatties about why this might be happening, and one of the major ones is perspective. I mean, that's totally crazy. I mean, look in that shot. How can perspective distinguish between the bottom half of the ship and the top half? That's just ridiculous. Perspective doesn't cut things off at the bottom. This is just not possible. Perspective makes things get smaller, not arbitrarily chop parts off. So that's a crazy idea. So I don't know, there are other crazy ideas out there. I'm pretty sure we'll hear many of them. But, you know, clearly that ship is either sinking or it's going over the curve. So, unfortunately, I don't know the name of this ship. I couldn't make it out, and unfortunately, I could not find out how far away that is. But in terms of this video, I'm not too worried, because it's obviously getting less and less. Because before, when I was up top the first time, you could see the hull of the ship. Now you cannot see the hull of the ship. And where is it? Oh, let me guess. Oh, I don't know. I think it might be below the curve. What other crazy explanations are there? I've heard things like, you know, sight walls. Okay, if there's a sight wall, how does the sight wall work? Can you explain that to me? And then there's this thing about perspective, and when it gets to the convergent point, if something is beyond the convergence point, then it will somehow disappear from bottom up. I'm not really sure what the convergence point is. In perspective, there is a vanishing point. That is the only convergent point I know, and it's called a vanishing point because that's where things get so small you cannot see them anymore. So once they are past that so-called conversion point, then you wouldn't be able to see them. So this whole idea of seeing something beyond the convergence, that's another made-up crazy idea plucked out of thin air, because of the inability to accept the fact that there is a curve in the water. Now, I just might add that
the curve inland, if a vehicle was going over a hill inland, no one would have a problem with that. They go, of course, it's going over a hill. But the problem they're having in their minds is that the hill is made of water, and they cannot understand how water can actually form a curve. Well, I'm sorry, that's not my fault. This ship is going over the curve. And now you can see there's no white. It was under the funnel before, so this is just a reflection of the funnel here. And, well, I'm starting to run out of things to talk about, but I'll start and talk about what flat Earth is about, as far as I've been able to determine. And it's like, show me the curve, show me the curve. And yeah, well, okay, here's the curve. That's not a curve, that's perspective. Yeah, okay, the Earth must be flat because it's not round. Well, that's okay, but if your only argument is that the Earth is not a globe, that's not a really good argument, and especially when you back it up with not very good arguments, not very good evidence, and you have no formulas or for anything. You have no model. You don't have a flat Earth map that works. And see this horizon line wherever it is here. Although the globe model has a formula for calculating where that horizon line is, and you flatties, you take great pleasure in finding those rare and not so common situations where there are for refraction and mirage effects, and go, oh look, there's no curve because I can see something I shouldn't be able to see. And it's like this here. Well, if I knew how far away the ship is and we could calculate it, I'm sure it wouldn't match the curve exactly because of refraction effects, etc. And everybody goes, see, your model's wrong, I shouldn't be able to see that. Yeah, but they all forget about like in this case, the fact that, just a minute, where's the rest of the ship? Because if the Earth was flat, you would be able to see the rest of the ship. Really, you would. And unfortunately, there's no flatness available big enough for anyone to be able to demonstrate that. I can't help it that the sea is not as flat as you would like. So the problem here is you cannot do a real experiment at scale to see what it would look like if it was flat, because it's not flat. And the best chance is modelling. Although everything's called CGI, isn't it? And of course, this whole movie that I'm taking here, if it's not refraction, if it's not perspective, if it's not sight wall, it's CGI or some other crazy thing that's plucked out of where. So if you want to watch this video to the end, you can. Thankfully, I can stop talking now, and we'll just sit here in respectful silence and wait for the ship to be gone mostly over the curve. think that's enough. There is a few more minutes left there. If you want to see it, sure, tell me. I'll post it up. But there you go. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. And if you want to subscribe, that'd be great. I've got some great ideas for videos coming up. And yes, this is the ship disappearing.